Good morning, everybody. I am coming to you live today from my glorious hotel room in Canada because I am here doing a TEDx talk. So I recorded earlier this week and the event is later. And so I'm in a different space today. So if you are here live, let me know that you are here live. If you are catching the replay, got a funny eye thing happening. Let me know you're catching the replay. Today, we are going to talk about 3 effective communication changes. The way that effective communication changes your relationships and changes your career. Like, how do you make sure that your communication skills aren't just, getting information across? There's so much more to our communication skills than just, hey, this is what I want you to do. So one of the things that I talk about a lot and love to help people with is conflict resolution. And that's even the topic of my TEDx is conflict resolution. But one of the things that I think about in the context of conflict resolution is that good communication keeps us away from unhealthy conflict. So much of conflict is caused by miscommunication that if we can improve our communication, we're already better at conflict resolution. And clear and effective communication will help you in the midst of conflict resolution. So I want to talk about 3 things that really improve your communication and like why these things really work. So one of the questions I get all the time, good morning, friends. One of the questions I get all the time is, can I really learn to be a good communicator? Isn't that just a skill that some people are great communicators and some people aren't? That is a total myth. You absolutely can learn to be an effective communicator. It is a skill. It's not just like a magic wand that, Harry Potter grunts and then you have communication skills. There is room to grow. And sometimes those of us who think that we have a natural talent in communication can be the laziest communicators, because real effective communication takes work. And that effective communication changes your relationship. If you are clearly communicating with your friends, with your partner, with your team, and with your boss, Brene Brown says clear is kind, and good communication creates a connection. Good communication creates productivity, and that effective communication skills creates a team and belonging as well. So it is absolutely a skill that you can learn that will improve your communication, your career, and your relationships. So the second thing is effective and confident communication takes practice. So when we start to change something, it takes practice to remove it. And I'm even noticing one of the things I'm practicing right now is trying to remove the word so from my vocabulary. I've done a lot of filming recently, and I have noticed I say so all the time. I begin a ton of sentences with the word so. I am practicing removing so, or not removing, but reducing the amount I use so in my vocabulary. That is practice. And so when you are working on your communication skills, it's practice. That's one of the things that helps you become a better communicator. And once you start learning how to practice in this realm of communication, you actually get better at that beginner's mindset. You become more innovative. That really helps your career. Oh, Amanda, oh, absolutely. I had to work on at one point as well, because we kind of say, or do you understand? Like, do you get it? Like those kinds of phrases that sneak in. But once I realized how I could remove one, I got better at removing the others that weren't as helpful. Not that I still don't say so. But it's one of those things where that practice skill helps you in all the areas of your career. And communication is almost like the low-hanging fruit. And you start to gain some confidence around your communication, which, as I told you in the first point, you can improve everything. Then you start becoming more innovative. You begin to say, oh, I can do this new thing too. And the more we do new things, the more we grow and change and become what I say is more whole. And so that's the second thing, is that once you practice it, you start practicing other things well too. You almost develop the skill of practice. So effective and confident communication absolutely takes practice. And then here is one that I think we just don't talk about a lot, but effective and confident communication is power. It's especially power in hard conversations. And I don't mean power like manipulative or, lording it over people, but owning your own power and really your own agency in your relationships, in your conversations, in your career, in your leadership. You're owning your power. And sometimes, particularly as women, that gets a little scary because we don't want to be the mean girl, or we don't want to be like that, whatever that is for you. But owning your power and agency is owning your influence. And your leadership and relationships will absolutely rise and fall on how you handle crucial conversations. It's vital to what you do in your relationships. So that means the conference room table, at the Zoom room, at your kitchen table. You have the power, when you have effective and confident communication, to clearly communicate, to have a voice, to take down the bully, to stand up for the things that you believe are right and true and good. And the one who knows how to manage the hard conversation is the one with the power. And so that is, I think, one of the most important things about learning effective communication skills is that you get to own your own power, your own agency. There's a lot of talk, if you've done any Instagram space, girl boss thing, all of that is about owning your voice. And we talk about owning your voice. That's what this is. Effective communication is like the heart, is like the skill of starting to own your voice. There's all kinds of mindset work, and we do that work too. That is also important. But actually learning the communication skill is it's like the vehicle that gets us there. You have to know how to do that, because if you are an effective and confident communicator, you own the room. And that's really, really important. So for those of you watching, I would love to know what questions you have about that, or what you think about effective and confident communication. I am doing a challenge next week called the Become a Confident Communicator Challenge. I tried something new over here. Ooh, where is it? There it is. To try a QR code that you can sign up for the Confident Communicator Challenge. And what we're going to be doing on day one is talking about what miscommunication costs us, like what's at stake when we're not communicating clearly. On day two, I'm going to give you a framework I've created called the CLEAN framework that will help you be a good communicator when you're talking to your kids and packing lunches, or when you are in front of the client performing your presentation, all of those things. So that clear and confident communication is day two. And then on day three, we're going to talk about what do you do when miscommunication does happen? Because as much as we want to, sorry, my reminders are coming. As much as we want to have 100% perfect communication, we're human. It doesn't happen all the time. So on day three, I'm going to talk about what do you do when miscommunication does happen, because that's also an effective and confident communication still. How do you suggest staying confident with your response when talking about something that is more uncomfortable for you? Love this question, Amanda. So when you feel discomfort, usually that is your emotions coming into play. And when we feel discomfort, the emotion most of the time is fear. So if you can, I said so, there, I did it. If you can have that type of conversation with yourself beforehand, like if you know this conversation is going to happen, and start exploring, what am I afraid of? What's really happening? What do I think is going to happen? Do a little bit of what I call planned worry, where you're kind of worrying and playing out the scenarios, and then you start to see, wait, that's not really likely going to happen. Or if that does happen, I know how to handle that. Or if that does happen, what will I do? So doing that beforehand is super helpful. In the moment, I actually was talking about this yesterday on my Instagram stories. When you feel that discomfort and feeling confident, you have to start working on your emotional regulation. And that is you being in charge of your emotions and being able, despite the discomfort, to stay where you're going, like to stay your course. Not that you're not listening, not that you're not adjusting to other people, but really staying with what you believe is true. And if you get different information, you can always change, but your emotions are staying with you. Confidence is also a skill that you can learn. It's not just a feeling. So we're really dealing with our emotions of discomfort when we don't feel confident. Oh, I hope that's helpful. It's a little bit of a confusing answer, but that's how we start to work through discomfort when we feel uncomfortable about that. Ori, I'm so glad that you found it interesting. I would love again to invite you. The link is also in the description of the event somewhere, depending on if you're watching on your phone or if you're on a computer. But you can go to jenwhitmer.com/confident communicator and you will find the challenge. Or you just, you know what, DM me if you can't find it. It's a free challenge. And I know that it is incredibly helpful because I've done it before. And I have lots of people who have said it's so important, the work that we did in that challenge. And so I've edited it, updated it a little bit, but it's going to help you create that confident communicator that you really want to be. All right. I hope this was helpful to y'all today. Let me know if you're watching the replay, if you've got more questions, and I will see you all later. Happy Thursday, everybody.